Hello, hello. Welcome to the 3-month checkpoint in what I said I was going to do at the beginning of the year. If you're not aware, I made a video exactly 3 months ago at the very beginning of January with some goals that I had for the end of 2023. And I said I was going to make like kind of a brief update every 3 months and also just talk about generally how things are going, because I find doing stuff on this channel to be relatively therapeutic in a lot of ways. So the 6 goals that I listed are that number 1, I want to get to 250k subs, which obviously it's not the end of the year yet. I can't know what I'm going to be at by the end of the year, but I don't think I'm quite on track for that. Let me check. Yeah, it's like, based on what I'm doing, I probably won't end up hitting that by the end of the year, but that's more of a goal that'll stretch me thin. I think I'm kind of hitting the cap of what I actually can get with my channel. So it's not too big of a deal. That's just a personal goal. Second is I wanted to mess with my second channel some. I've really not touched my second channel in a while. Not that I've not thought about it. I think that I've considered stuff that I could do for my second channel. It's just more so when I have like motivation, energy and stuff, I want to make sure it's being spent on my main channel because that's what I want to grow. So we'll see what can be done with my second channel. Again, it's more something that I want to have established by the end of the year, but sadly I've not made progress on that one technically at all. The third is I want to stream weekly. That has gone phenomenally. The Schizo MVM streams have been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed doing those with the rest of the Chuckle Nuts. It almost feels like cheating. Like when I think to myself, like, hey, am I going to do a stream this week? I kind of just like filter Schizo MVM out of my head because it's like, oh yeah, well that one's just a given that'll happen. And that's a pretty good state to be in, the fact that it's like, yeah, I have one live stream that I can use to connect to my audience, hopefully entertain some people. And that type of thing. I know not too long ago I did a stream where I like went on a community server with a bunch of people and had like everyone viewing able to join the server as well. I want to try to do those more. That was supposed to be like one in a string of a lot of like various things, because I have a lot of servers that aren't super populated, so I'm happy that that'll be a possibility. I'm very glad the first one went well. I even made a little video off of it, which I think people enjoyed, so that's something that I'll probably be looking at. Overall, that goal is a phenomenal success so far. Number 4 is I want to spend... I had listed like 40 hours per week on doing YouTube stuff, and then I kind of realized that it's difficult to calculate what counts as YouTube stuff. Like, you obviously count editing, right? Like all the grueling busy work that's involved with making a project, but like, what about playing the game for B-roll? Because technically all I'm doing is just playing TF2. What if I did the exact same thing and like recorded it but didn't play it for a specific video? Like, how do you count which one is work and which one isn't? And then like, also, how do you count a lot of my ideation is when I'm just doing monotonous tasks like driving or like showering or whatever. So it's like, do you count that? Because technically I couldn't make the videos without doing that. So it's kind of hard to count exactly 40 hours. But mainly it's just that I'm spending a reasonable amount of time per day working on what I want and making sure that is a day-to-day habit that I'm keeping up. And I would say that overall, I would say like a 7 out of 10 for how that's going. It's not perfect. There's some days that I just kind of slack off. But I think if you count like streams especially, then I am spending time doing what I want to be doing. It's just especially like right at the beginning of certain projects is the hardest part, because it's I don't really ever feel like sitting down and writing. Usually once I do start sitting down and writing, I get into it pretty easily, but yeah, that's just something that I need to motivate myself, I think, with a little bit more. But overall, I think I am getting things done in a timely manner. As long as the videos are getting put out like every week or two, I'm fine. I'm not going to complain about like every single minutia of my day, but the purpose of that was to kind of modulate what I'm doing with my time, and I think that overall that is becoming better. So I have seen improvement, which I think is next, it's I guess the second best thing to actually achieving the goal. Number 5, I wanted to get excited about the videos that I'm making, and I think overall, that has been a pretty good success. Out of the out of the videos that I made this year, essentially this calendar year, 2023, probably a good 2/3 of them were stuff that I was like pretty excited as I was working on. I know the FNAF maps. I was really excited to put out the FNAF maps. I'm always proud to like show off the maps that I make, and I kind of want to do more stuff with that. So that was pretty cool. And then the weaponry balance stuff. That's another one that it's just like, I don't know why it was fun or why I enjoyed it as much as I did. It was just like, yeah, getting to suggest rebalances for weapons, even if they weren't all universally loved. I know there was a bit of controversy with the loose cannon. It was still fun to think about them, and that was kind of what I was looking for when I say like getting excited about videos. Is like, yeah, thinking about, I can't wait to sit down and like edit this or work on this today, or even like finally get it out and show people. The other ones, like I said, don't get me wrong, it's not like I absolutely hate everything else. It's just those were the ones that I was like really feeling that and connecting with. So overall, going pretty well. We'll see how that continues to improve throughout the year, but within this 3 months, pretty good. And then goal number 6 is that I wanted to fix my sleep schedule. Kind of, yes. I'll give that like a 6 out of 10. There have been times where I've gone to sleep abysmally late. There's sometimes I'll go to sleep at a pretty good time, but it's definitely improved since when I've said it. So again, all you can hope for is improvement. As long as you're going up and you're never going down, eventually you'll get to where you want, and that's what I want. So that is hopefully something, again, I can continue to improve. The caveat with that, as with every other goal, is that I'm kind of limited with how early I can sleep some nights, especially on the days where we do Schizo MVM. So if you're one of the people who's ever wondered, like, why do they stream Schizo MVM at 12:30 in the morning, I think is when we do it, Eastern time. The reason we do it like that is because I know the What Show and Zenith both work until like midnight. They both do closing shift at their jobs. So it's kind of hard to start anything because they like to be on a lot of Schizo MVMs and they're kind of like the core of it. It's kind of hard to start the streams when they're not there. So we gotta just have to wait on them. And assuming they both get back at around midnight Eastern time, we don't really have the ability to start until about half an hour after that. So we are a bit limited. So that's like being able to do that every week is something that I really value, and I want to I'm willing to concede a little bit on sleep if that's what we're doing. But there are limits to how early I can go to sleep. So when I say that, like, oh yeah, I got to sleep at like 4 a.m. every night, and that's really good for me, that's kind of why my sleep schedule is nocturnal in some instances. So it's getting better. All right, we're turning into a dove, less of an owl. I don't know, what are there, like bird puns that I can use to describe that? Maybe. I don't know what like a morning bird is. So anyway, those are the goals that I set for myself for 2023, and I set them 3 months ago. This is the Q1 checkpoint. I will take 4 out of 6. I think that's pretty good. The invisible goals that I have that I didn't really list, but these are obviously just things that I want to make sure I'm improving, are just quality, video quality, whether that's like editing, thumbnails, voiceovers, concepts, whatever. I want to make sure that those are improving too. I didn't list them because I thought they were kind of like a given, where it's like, yeah, if I'm going to be doing this, I want to make sure that I'm improving. And I think that overall, the quality this quarter is better than what it was last quarter. Maybe not by a ton. I feel like I was doing pretty good stuff last time, but the stuff that I'm making I quite like. The thumbnails, I'm trying to do some more stuff with. I really just don't use my thumbnails unless I like how they look. Like I had this one right here as the thumbnail for the What If TF2 was like the trailers for a while, and it was like bothering me the entire time it was there, so I like fixed it as soon as I could. But yeah, I feel like just in terms of like graphics, I am improving on thumbnails, or at least keeping up the quality that I had. I want to try to get a little bit more creative with the messaging. I want to try to remove text from some of my thumbnails just to see how they go. I very much fear that, like, yeah, if I take out the text and people don't have something to read to understand the video, then they're just not gonna click it. I don't know, we'll see. But I am certainly willing to make a few graphical concessions to make my thumbnails function as intended, which are magnets to be clicked on. But yeah, that's kind of the thing that I've been thinking about with that, just in case you ever wondered like what the insider process is behind making some of those. As far as like editing and everything, yeah, I think editing has always been a very slow improvement for me. I don't think there've been anything where I like just go all out on. I really can't stand editing. I get bored so quickly, and because I have to like listen to the audio as I'm doing it, I can't even like put something on in the background, so it's just kind of tedious. But I've been trying to improve editing at least where I can. Usually that's just for me something where I can like sit down and make better graphics or little like weapon cards or whatever to put in the video. But yeah, I think it does its job. I prefer minimalist editing anyway. Even if I didn't find it tedious, I would probably prefer it as a stylistic choice just because I hate the ADHD editing, but that's improving. And concepts, we'll see. I've gotten a couple good new ideas. I was kind of struggling at the end of the last year. I think the direct upgrades video was like the last good video that I had in my arsenal for a bit. But I've come up with some more. So, I think overall I am very slowly improving. As long as I'm not like degrading in my quality, as long as it is an improvement, I'm not going to be too picky. But that is just something as what is technically defined as an artist I am concerned about. I don't really consider myself to be an artist. I make very long form shit posts in TF2. I make videos that are a good way to burn like 15 minutes of your life. But yeah, as someone who does something creatively related, that is a concern. So overall, I think stuff's gone really well over the past 3 months. This is the first 3 months I've ever spent doing full-time YouTube. The last 3 months that I had, I was in school, or I guess like the end of last year, I was in school, and I didn't get an opportunity to fully commit all of my time for editing, which was a little bit frustrating in a lot of points. But I was a bit concerned, like stepping into this, like would I, with all the free time, would I be motivated to actually work on videos consistently? Would I actually like want to be doing this, or am I going to get burnt out after a very short amount of time? And I think that those concerns were alleviated after I got into some projects that I was excited about, so that was cool. And overall, that has gone really, really well. I've been able to support myself doing something that I quite enjoy, so I am very thankful for you guys for continuing to like and watch my stuff. And I know, like, you hear every YouTuber say that, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, thanks for watching my stuff. Gee, you're welcome. You've entertained me, whatever. But yeah, no, being in the position where I can thank people for watching stuff is really cool. And if you're watching this, you're probably one of the fewer people who actually does care about like my personal growth on YouTube and is following the journey. So yeah, you're stay cool. You're helping a lot. The last thing that I'll note before I go and leave you for another 3 months here is the concerns that I've had. Obviously, it's not all peachy keen. I think the biggest concern for me is kind of weird. I had this discussion with a couple people on Discord not too long ago where it's like, you know, why don't I just give up trying to do anything interesting and make the most generic content you have ever seen? Like, I'm talking the Sunny V2 reaction type videos. I would make a ton of money doing it. I wouldn't have to put in probably as much effort as I am now. And even though my channel wouldn't be anything special and it would kind of fizzle out after a while, it's like, well, I don't really know if my current channel is going to be remembered at all. It's like, I feel like it's just another flash in the pan as far as TF2 stuff goes. So it's like, I don't know. There's been some internal struggle about like, yeah, what is really stopping me from just kind of giving up, so to speak, and taking the easy route of like making really generic content and like following whatever recent drama there is between internet celebrities and reporting on it and making enough money so I'll never have to work after the age of 25. And it's like, well, I don't know what actually is stopping me from doing that. And I'm not gonna like give you an answer about like how I found self-discovery. Like that is still very much weighing in my mind. And it's like, yeah, there have been several times where like after spending a while on something and having it not do well, it's like, yeah, I might as well go for the extremely low risk, extremely high reward type of content that even though it's not substantial, is probably about the same level of like substance as what I'm making now, frankly. I understand that like my wacky what if videos probably don't have that much impact on the community. Like the people aren't sitting up at night pondering the existential questions that they're asking. Most people watch it to ease their boredom for a couple minutes. So it's like, I don't know, maybe someday I'll completely give up and make like critical reaction videos. Who knows? But that's just been something that I'm wrestling with. What I will say at least is that this is a very, very good opportunity for any kind of feedback you have. Unlike normal videos where it is difficult to read through all the comments, to say the least, because I tend to get a couple of them. On this channel, I read through almost every single comment that I get, and if you have anything, it will be seen, and should you desire a response, just ask for one, and I'll try to think of something. No guarantees. Usually I read these at like 4 in the morning, but yeah, I'll see what I can do. But yes, thank you for watching all the way through if you have. The fact that you care this much really does mean a lot. It's cool that random internet strangers are willing to keep up with whatever I'm doing, at least to this amount of caliber, something like that. That was a good sentence. And yeah, that's it.